Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, today is car casting. I got a little extra bonus time in my life, if you will. Plans didn't quite go as planned. And so I get a little extra time and I decided, hey, let me take this time and car cast with all y'all. I am driving between Reno to Sacramento. I'm slightly over Reno's airport. This is my third flight that has not flown out of Reno. And the third time I have been headed to Sacramento. I'm feeling like life is telling me Reno might not be my destination. So if you guys want to weigh in, my husband and I have been weighing in on where the Dent family should be moving. So if you want to weigh in on that, email me. I'd love to hear from you. Guys, I'm not kidding. When I say this, I really do want to hear from you. So email me, hello@thedentalteam.com. You can weigh in. Tell me what is the best city to move to. Here are my stipulations, okay? Before you tell me to move to upstate New York, that is absolutely stunning, here are my criterias. Number one, it has to be by an airport that actually has planes go out. That's number one. Number two, my husband is a clinical pharmacist, so we need a trauma 1 or trauma 2 hospital within a 30-mile radius of us, okay? That's number two. Number three, I'm obsessed with green. I do like Phoenix. I mean, I'll put it up there if you can sway me. But I really love green and I really love water. My two favorite things to do in the entire world are hiking and boating. You can get me on a boat and I will stay there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and I just love it. Love it so much. I think there's nothing more fun than that. I also love hiking. I think there's nothing more beautiful than like a beautiful sunrise, sunset. So those are kind of my only things. So if you guys know, and I would prefer a great place to raise a family. We are trying to get pregnant. Send out your best vibes, guys. So far, IVF journey has not been promising. So send out your best vibes. I think it'd be cute to have some little dentes in this world. But I'd love to know where you guys think we should move. Because right now, Reno, I've been over for the last 5 years. So I'm open to places. So tell me where you think would be the best place for the Dent family to relocate. Again, those are my 4 criteria. So think about it. I will tell you a few places that we have considered, but I'm not going to. You guys tell me where we should move. hello@thedentalteam.com. It'd be really fun to relocate next to you. So tell me where we should move. I'm going to open it up. There's thousands of you guys listening. Why should I be guessing of the best places in the world? Why not go to our awesome community and ask you guys? So today I am driving to Sacramento. Excited to be on this beautiful drive, but I really wanted to dive into a fun topic of onboarding. I think onboarding is something so many people don't realize is paramount and actually one of the ways to prevent a lot of team turnover. So I wanted to just kind of dive into some ideas. You guys may have heard them in the past, might be a good reminder. I heard a really cool quote the other day that said a lot of learning is just remembering. Right? Like, gosh, that struck me so good because I thought, you're right. I've heard these things in the past, but I just didn't actually implement on them. So I wanted to just dive in, guys, give you a quick reminder because I know a lot of you are hiring, a lot of you are bringing on new team members. Truthfully, human turnover, like when we turn over team members, human capital is the greatest expense on a business. And so when we turn that over, it really is actually hard on a practice. So if we can come up with better onboarding processes, it's going to help you guys have less turnover. So first and foremost, I strongly encourage you guys to have a 30, 60, 90-day onboarding. What we do for team members in our operations manual, which you guys can totally snag, it's at thedentalteam.com. Click on Virtual Academy. Our operations manual is downloadable, customizable. There's Word and PDF versions of it for you, and we update it quite often. So we added in an associate onboarding portion, we added a marketing, we're getting ready to start adding regional manager job description. So it's all in there. You guys get access to it for life. But in there we have a 30, 60, 90-day scorecard, if you will. It's where the team member for every position what they need to do on their first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. So it's a really, really valuable tool. And I really encourage every person, when you have it, that you go through this. Also, a lot of practices do something called a universal trainer. So you guys can kind of mix this up however you'd like. It might be wise that there is one set person, like for us, it is Shelby, who goes over all the company things within our practice, in our company. So for example, our core values, our mission statement, how we utilize all of our online software. For us, we're a virtual company, so there's a lot of tech involved with being a Dental A team member. For you guys in your practices, it'd be things like, how do we utilize our software? How do we clock in? How do we clock out? What are the policies with taking time off? What are the policies with dress code, getting scrubs? All those little nitty gritties of the practice, but really it's setting up the tone for our culture as well. So maybe having somebody that's just a set person that when a new hire comes in, they spend some time with this person and they really get oriented to the practice. Then you can set them up with, say, a buddy or a universal trainer within each department. So we could have a hygienist, we could have a dental assistant, front office, dentist as well. That way we kind of have our 4 departments. And this person, they really are the trainer of these areas. And the goal is within 90 days, typically even within the first 30 days, we know, is this person going to make it or are they not going to make it? So we have these nice checklists where the team member who's hired knows what's expected of them. You have an operations manual that's utilized, so that way the team member can go and look for all these how-tos. So how do we clock in? Because you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but in communication, our words are about 10% of what we're actually communicating. The rest is body language and tone. So you might be saying this to people, but they're probably not catching it. So having videos, having tutorials, having things backlinked. For us, all of our how-tos are backlinked to videos and screenshots of how to do everything within our company. The answer is yes, we really have taken the time to do this. I set that as a quarter goal for our entire team, and you better believe we cranked those protocols. So the way I love to set this up when I'm building protocols, and for this 30, 60, 90, is we all broke it down to what we do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. Then we made how-tos for all of those, and then we decided amongst all those items what things must be learned within the first 30 days, 60 days, and then mastered by 90 days. That way it was easy for us because we already had what we do on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. We already had how-to protocols for them, and then we were able to split those easily up into 30, 60, 90-day checkoffs for each new hire. Every single time we bring in a new hire, there is definitely, we revamp it and we make it even better, and we take feedback from those new hires of how could we actually make this better for them. But I think giving them somebody who's quote unquote their buddy that's responsible for them and is truly the trainer to ensure there is consistency amongst our new hires, that there's less chaos, and that they're really dedicated to their success is a great way to make sure this team member has help and support right away. Most of the time we're short-staffed, right? So you're like, Kiera, this sounds great, but we're already drowning. We're just trying to get people in. Even on short-staffed practices, don't make the mistake of throwing them in there. It's like you're throwing them into the deep end and hoping that they learn to swim. Well, let's just think about how many kids, like I hope this experiment has never been done, but just imagine, if you will, if you just dumped a bunch of like 1 and 2 year olds off into a pool, how many of those people would actually be able to swim and survive? Well, we lived in Arizona. My husband used to work in the ER, and I will tell you, not many of those kids who fall into pools survive. And so, I mean, it just goes to show that if you dump them off into the deep end, they're probably not going to make it. And we're going to have, what? You guys know, we're going to have turnover. This is what causes all of that turnover. And so if we know by dumping people into a deep end, most of them probably don't know how to swim and they're going to drown, aka quit, let's do something different. Let's actually give them a trainer. I don't care how short-staffed you are. You still have people that are working in there. I mean, the smallest office I've seen are 3 people in 2 practices, and I was like, whoa, you guys really are short-staffed. But what's going to happen? They're going to bring someone in, hope and pray that they can make it, shove them in that deep end and say, good luck, let us know. That person's then going to feel inferior. They're going to feel like they're failing because they don't know if they're winning or if they're losing. They have no one that they can go to for help, and so they're just going around hoping and praying that they're doing it right. That is not set up for success. So guys, if we're that busy, we can even shut our day down for half a day if we're that short staffed. I would much rather invest 2 to 4 hours in somebody. I get it. I'll be losing production. But if I could have a better chance of this person not turning over on me, would it be worth it? I would say yes. So let me give you some ideas of how I love these trainers to work. So for hygiene, I really love it to be a staggered schedule. So we bring them in. This can be over the course of 3 to 5 days. You can decide. Also, depending upon how busy your schedule is, how much you need them. But most of the time when we hire a hygienist, we're like, perfect, they got a full schedule, fill them up. We've been waiting for them to come. Well, guys, another week's not going to kill you. So what you can do is you can actually have this hygienist buddy up, and they take every other patient. So your seasoned hygienist who's been working with you for a while, they take patient A, the first one at 8 o'clock. Then your new hygienist takes the 9 o'clock. Then the 10 o'clock goes back to your original one. The 11 goes with your new hygienist. By them being in the same room, they're going to see how to perio chart. They're going to see how to take x-rays. They're going to see how to do the exams. They're going to have someone in there to help them when they don't know where to do it. And they're also going to get to listen to the 2 different verbiages. You better believe that training period is exponentially faster than just sticking them in their own room and hoping and praying that they figure it out. Hygienists don't see each other, just like dentists don't see each other. Again, 2 to 5 days, you will see a radical change. And on those 3 days over lunch, teach them our perio protocol, teach them our handoff protocol, maybe teach them our exam, maybe teach them how to chart prep or like for the next day. And then also, how do we put all of our notes into the computer? Those are 5 great things that you could teach them over lunch just to make sure they get a jump start on their training. Again, you've been waiting for them for how long? You wait another week, it's not going to kill you. It will kill you if they quit on you and you have to reschedule all those patients. So why not set them up for the best success? You can do the exact same type of structure for your dental assistants. Have them take every other patient. This way they're in there, they can see how to do this, they can flip the rooms, they can take the x-rays, every other patient. You've got somebody sitting in that room with them, training them, making sure they're good to go, and then they can go on their own. How many of you would just love to DIY and get the secrets of people who have been there, done that on your own time? Because I know for me, I love to learn from the best of the best, the people who have been there, done that, and can give me the shortcuts. That's why we have created our Dental A-Team Virtual Academy, where it's on-demand courses for you at your fingertips, where you literally can learn the secrets from all of my experience, all of Tiffany's experience, Brittany, Dana, our entire team's experience at your fingertips. So stop taking the hard route, guys. There's a shortcut sitting there waiting for you, and it's also CE. Head on over to thedentalateam.com and click on our virtual academy. Be sure to use coupon code podcast and get started on that DIY and become the practice of your dreams. But if they know that they have 2 or 3 days of shadowing, but not just sitting there, I know as an assistant, I used to just sit there literally watching which was great. But why not pop them in the chair and have somebody watch them? So you just flip-flop every other patient is a really great way to bring these people in and onboard them successfully. So the first step is we've got to make sure that we've got a 30, 60, 90. The second step is let's make those how-to protocols if we can. Again, don't have that as a deterrent to hiring people, but definitely something if you don't have it, let's get that done. At the Dental A-Team, we definitely help offices get this done. So if you're struggling with that, please reach out, hello@thedentalateam.com. We definitely can get you guys that ops manual done. That's a usable, workable, and current operations manual. So that's step 1 and 2, okay? 30, 60, 90, getting that operations manual done and usable. Then we want to make sure we have a universal trainer of all things culture of our company and the nitty-gritty of our company. We want to have that set in stone so every person does it and it's written down. It's a checklist. So every new hire goes through the exact same process and we start to cultivate a culture of outstanding people. Then after that, we're going to want to make sure that we buddy them up and dovetail them if it's clinical, maybe for 2 to 3 days, and have set training with set trainers to go through this process with them. After that, we're then going to want to, for the front office, what I really recommend you do for those front office team members is they actually dovetail back and forth. You confirm one patient, they confirm the rest of them. So it's kind of like watch, then do, but I'm going to sit here with you for 2 to 3 days and I'm going to dedicate this time to you. Is it a lengthy process? The answer is ish. It depends on your perspective. 2 days may feel like a long time, or a week might feel like a long time. But when we look at the longevity of this employee, if they really can make it for at least a year, that was minimal time that you actually had to spend on this hire. So choose your heart. Is it harder to just throw them in the chair and hope and pray they make it, but deal with the human capital turnover because we didn't take the time training them? Or is it harder to train them for 2 to 5 days and really give them time and dedication, and then have check-in points with them at their first week, at their second week, their third week, at their fourth week, at their 60-day mark, and at their 90-day mark? I would much rather give them all the support necessary rather than having turnover. That's just my own opinion. And it's come from years of having turnover that I'm sick of, that I'm like, all right, we're going to do this the right way, and we're going to have a much more elite onboarding process. Now, there might be some positions that you have no clue how to onboard. For example, billing. I know a lot of offices have no idea how to onboard a biller or an office manager or a treatment coordinator. Guess what, guys? I had no clue how to onboard a marketer in our company, nor like a COO. No clue. I've never done it. So for me, I got real lucky, and you might be able to hire this, but I paid a massive premium. So I'm bringing in people that I know how to do the position, but I'm paying a lot of money for these people. So that's one option. Hire an office manager. They're probably going to run you, depending upon your area, anywhere from 65 to probably 200,000. No joke. If you guys were to hire me, I'd probably be pushing that 200,000 mark, and I would only work probably 2 to 3 days max in a practice. And would I know I'm worth it? You better believe I would. But that's an expensive premium. A lot of you might hear like, whoa, there's no way, Kiera. Guess what? That's fine. That's why I don't work as an office manager anymore. But that would be my fee to hire somebody like myself to come into your practice and work for you. So that's one route. You can go the expensive route. You can hire people that have been there, done that. But again, there's always this risk of, do you know that they actually know what they're doing? Do I know that this biller is actually billing correctly? So then the alternative is you can hire people that might not know how to do that position, and then hire a trainer or a coach, such as our company, that's able to then help you guys train them. Tons of offices work with us simply, and we just do it virtually, to train their team members that they don't know how to do. Well, I don't want to be the person who's your constant trainer for you, as much as I love to do that. So we actually teach you, do the recordings, and send them to you in your practice, so that way you guys actually know how to train and hire this person in the future. So it's, yeah, we'll do it for you the first time, but then we're going to send you all the tips and all the tools, so if you want to do it on your own next time, you now know how to. So that's what we've got to do at that point. So that's what I suggest for the front office, how you can do it with your clinical team. And then we need to schedule, like I said, those check-ins. So I recommend after week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, just see how it's going. And I do quizzes. So after week 1, I want them to know our core values. After week 2, I really want to ensure that they can do whatever the position is. Maybe it's that they can flip a room, that they know how to sterilize it. Maybe it's that they know how to do confirmations. Maybe it's that they know how to do treatment planning. They can actually present a treatment plan with care credit, or whatever it is in your practice. Having some hygienists, I'd want to make sure that they know what our perio protocol is and when they're going to diagnose perio. Think about the reason I started doing my onboarding this way is because I actually am obsessed with Starbucks as a company. I don't drink coffee, guys, so it's funny that I'm obsessed with them, but I really love their process of how they have great employees and they have a great onboarding. So I actually chatted with some employees that work there and asked them, how is the onboarding? And they told me they have to learn all the drinks, and they have a quiz on all the drinks to ensure they know what the drink should be. Well, guess what? That's a really genius idea. Now we know that they literally make them memorize all the drinks, figure it out, and then they quiz them on it. Well, that's a pretty stellar idea from a pretty top-notch company that's able to hire, train, and onboard people from any walk of life and have them be the Starbucks standard. They also said they teach them through videos before they even start all the culture. You guys can do that same thing. Our company's working on that, so I don't need to have this universal trainer. Realistically, me, Kiera, should be the person who makes these videos, especially if I want them to be the culture that I want them to be. That's a future quarter goal, guys. Right now, I don't need it because I do have a lot of pieces. For us as a company, we've utilized 2 softwares. We utilized Asana, and we use that for all of the different checkmark points because we don't want to have a paper checklist for them, because guess what? I live in Reno. Until you guys tell me where to move, thank you for helping me. And most of our team lives in Arizona. So because of that, it's pretty hard for me to have a paper checklist where they are checking it off and I'm checking it off. So we utilize Asana where we have week 1, 2, 3, 4. We can also copy that template over. And so they check it off. They say what they think it is. I say what they think it is at our check-ins as well. So for example, how do I think they're doing on their FMXs versus how they think they're doing on their FMXs? How do I think they're doing with their clock in time? How do they think they're doing? How do I think they know our core values versus how they think they know the core values? What's great about it is it's there. So I also have proof of their training that we can always go back to as well. You can have it as a paper copy, whatever works for you guys. The other software we utilize, and you guys can, there's a lot of them. Udemy, Trainual, Thinkific. We use Kajabi, and we put all of our courses in there. So we have a lot of training for all of our team members that they do go through, and it has quizzes on them so I can see that they've actually tracked through and made progress. So some offices love to put all their onboarding videos in something such as that. You don't need to. All of our onboarding videos actually sit in Google Drive, and they are hyperlinked. So we have one sheet that's our daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly tasks. Everything's hyperlinked in there to the drive, and that's how we have our operations manual online so our team can watch it. But we do utilize Kajabi for online courses. So I wanted to just let you know 2 softwares that we currently are using. We're always looking for better ones. So if you guys have a better one, I'd love to hear from you. hello@thedentalateam.com. But you can see, I mean, this is a 20-minute podcast. I've walked you through a much more sophisticated onboarding system. And what happens is most people say, "Oh, Kiera, that's such a great idea. We're just super, super understaffed right now, so we're going to do that when we're staffed." The answer is you're never going to be fully staffed. And if you don't have a better onboarding process, you can kiss all those great hires goodbye because they're going to quit and they're going to go somewhere that does have better systems and structure that people can rely on. Just so you guys know, most people on the DISC profile are S's, meaning they like steady consistency. Most people are not your D's and I's, the drivers, the doers, and C's are the people who are the ones who are really conscientious and like detail oriented. Most people, like 75% of the nation, is an S. So if that's the case, let's make a more consistent, steady onboarding process and set our team members up for success and always ask them for feedback and then go make your onboarding process better. Does this take time? Yes. Do a lot of offices hire us to help them get this in place? Yes. Do the offices who hire us get this system in place? You better believe they do. Because guess what? We don't mess around and we say, all right, guys, it's time to divide and conquer. We will get this done. Now you have that coach who's there with you, pushing you, guiding you, making sure that you get this done successfully. So if you're like, hey guys, I need that, please email us, hello@thedentalateam.com. It's not too late to be able to get you guys rocking and rolling and get that turnover to be less and less. Like I said, human capital is the hardest and biggest expense on a company. So if you could spend, realistically, a few hours, this doesn't take a ton of time. Honest to goodness, I probably spent a good 40 hours. You think about 40 hours, that's 1 week's worth of time building out our onboarding process amongst all of our team. It didn't take us all that long. We set it as a 3-month goal and we had check-in points on it. Do it. Just think, what would your practice look like if you had this? What's it costing you now not to have it? And what is one thing you're willing to do today to get closer to having this? For me, I just set them as like, I don't know, mile markers, right? Like here's the end goal and I'm going to set up mile marker 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I have dates associated with each of those to ensure I get this done. Guys, get sophisticated on your onboarding. I know it will help you. If we can help you, email us, hello@thedentalateam.com. I would truly love to help you and your practice go to the next level and minimize that turnover that really is just emotionally and financially taxing on a business and your practice and your patient experience. So reach out, guys. And if you can do it on your own, do it, guys. That's why we make this podcast. I like our DIYers who just do it on their own, but make sure you're really going to do it. As always, guys, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team Podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental Team Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.